And so think of it like this, in a sense that, so what are the ways that I have to fund the business? Well, obviously I can go borrow money. In this current environment, this is an unprecedented access to debt borrowing that, now I don't ever mix debt and capital, but a debt is essentially a placeholder for capital. And SBA is, I think, is what, about 3.7%, I think is what they were saying, 3.25%, somewhere in that. It's below 4%. So the idea is that's incredibly cheap debt, but it's not capital. The only way to repay debt is to produce after-tax profit. So I will eventually have to repay that debt, but at a cost of less than 4%, that's an incredible opportunity. You just have to know that I am going to create enough positive profit and margin after tax in the future to retire that debt. Now, and the unusual thing is you're getting long-term payment terms on what is typically a revolving short-term note. And so it's a good thing if you're successful. It's a horrible master if you're not, because you got to get profitable to pay it back. I mean, you will eventually have to pay it back. And so the key is make sure that you know that you can generate that profit engine. Otherwise, so time is the ability that if I'm in a services business and I can work for free, I can, get my family to stuff envelopes or do whatever, I can do. And I can donate my time, and maybe I have a spouse that isn't in a situation where they're still in a situation where they're making enough income that I can survive on. That salary that I go without, we call that sweat equity. And so sweat equity is absolutely the most common capital component. And it's the one that pays you back the most if you can pull it off. And so certainly that's a good description. And then capital, if you actually go get an investor, that's going to be the most expensive. Now, some businesses, that may be the only way that they make it. So you can convince somebody that it's worth the risk. So just be wise in terms of how you structure it. And as I always say, I always want to know, if I take on an investor into a business, I want to know how I get them out of my business. And that's an important thing in terms of structuring. So good questions on that. Veronica, any thoughts you've got?
No, I don't have any questions. I think the next video is going to be really applicable, where, our clients and just folks out there can just input their actual numbers and kind of see how much cash they're going to need to get through the crisis. So.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up and see you on the next video.